Hey, Agro. Gonna need you to not play Pokemon and talk about Dragon Ball Super.
Why the fuck would I pick Dragon Ball Super?
Because it's... Kyle, this is the venerable sequel to the fantastic Dragon Ball franchise. I mean, it's what we've been waiting for and asking for 20 years. I mean, I'm sure someone's been asking for 20 years.
No, a grass ghost type starter is what I've been asking for 20 years.
So, you watched some Dragon Ball Super.
I did. I apparently watched the good arc.
Yes, you watched all of the Future Trunks arc. Now, for context, people, Agro has not been watching any Dragon Ball Super. You watched the first episode, realized it was hot garbage like I did, and then you didn't come back for more.
Yeah. I saw the Battle of Gods movie and the Resurrection F movie.
Yeah, and you really didn't need to see those in arc form. So yeah, I filled you in on the details of the tournament, which was... There was a tournament, there was a god who showed up, and then that god showed up in this.
We just keep climbing that Kai ladder.
Right. So context for your placement in this franchise, in this fandom, I guess you'd be like the filthy casual. Like, you're primarily a dub guy. Yeah. You haven't watched all of Z, have you?
One of these days you're going to have to come to grips with the fact that Goku's father was a brilliant scientist.
And that he loved him. Yeah. So, let's see if I'm correct. Like, you haven't seen all the Majin Buu arc, right? But you've seen everything else.
Yeah. I saw it the first time.
Okay.
Years and years ago.
Alright. I think, like, GT you're missing some stuff, and in Dragon Ball you're missing some stuff.
I have barely seen any of GT.
Really? I thought you watched, like, all the early stuff on, like, fan sub VHS tapes, and then...
I have a couple of VHS tapes.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the last episode of GT. I've seen bits here and there.
We watched that 10 stretch finale.
Yeah. We watched that whole bit at the end.
Yeah. And then Dragon Ball, I think you're missing like the Piccolo stuff.
Yeah. Right when Demon King Piccolo happens is where I dropped off the ball.
Okay. So casually, you've seen a bunch of the movies. You're not like that guy who just sifts through all of the lore and like takes all that shit in because you have real shit to worry about. What is your opinions on the franchise? Like just like your nostalgic memories of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball and all that jazz.
I mean, Dragon Ball, like the whole thing, it was always as superficially cool but cheap and disposable as Toriyama treats it.
Okay.
Like, I think everyone else takes that stuff way more seriously than he ever did.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this fandom, because if you ever say that, people will yell at you and tell you how much of a genius the man is. But, so yeah, you jumped in for the Future Trunks arc, the good arc. Let's start with you. What was your thoughts on the Future Trunks arc?
Dragon Ball Super is a terrible product.
It is.
Just overall. It's poorly animated, it's terribly directed. There were some beautiful moments in those fight scenes near the end of the Trunks arc.
Yes.
There really, really were.
Yes.
It was like, holy shit, somebody wandered into the studio and made a better anime for a few seconds at a time.
Yeah. There are parts of episodes that just look amazing. And that's kind of been the problem with Super's production.
It's mostly shit. It's not even like, oh, this isn't interesting. No, a lot of it is just shittily animated. Like, you shouldn't have put this on TV. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you have, like, sometimes you'll have episodes that are like, oh, this episode's really on model, but everyone's, like, moving, like, 2 frames a second.
Does no one remember how to draw Vegeta at all? Because I can't get a shot of his face that isn't like his face is skewed 10 degrees off model or part of it's stretched or it's just... He's always fucking weird looking in that show.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it bothers me that he's almost as tall as Goku.
Yeah, that is true. He did just get slowly taller over the course of Z. So.
Well, I mean, science aged slowly, so...
Yeah.
He's finally catching up to Goku. The animation is horribly uneven. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it looks abysmal. Most times it just looks subpar. More often than not, it just looks subpar. But I mean, that's no secret. Like you brought the directing, and that's one of those things where I'm like, there's one scene that really stands out as far as just, wow, that was horribly fucking directed, and that was what was it? When they're talking, like Trunks explains like what the hell's going on in his timeline, and then it just hard cuts to them in an open field. It's like, let's spar. It's like they're like this far away from each other. Like just like it's like, let's spar to see like how well I could compare to this black guy. That phrasing will never stop being funny. But yeah, it just comes out of complete fucking nowhere. It goes complete fanfic mode for like 3 minutes, and they're like, that's like a running problem in this arc. Is that just every so often it just goes full fanfic mode, and it's just like, whoa, what happened here? And like okay, this story, when they announced the idea of the future Trunks arc, it's like Trunks is returning and there's an evil Goku, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever goddamn heard. Because like, what reason could you ever have to bring future Trunks back?
He has another problem he can't fix by himself.
Right, and like so
his timeline is legitimately nightmarish.
It's nightmarish for no fucking reason, though, because, like, what the fuck was Goku and the Kaios and all of that? Like the fact that shit happens, like, you think someone would have gone to the other world and went, okay, guys, we just got fucked by some robot people. We need you, like, we need Kaio to speak to the Namekians and have them wish us back so we can take another shot at this.
Right?
But no, none of that. Like, the entire fucking... Like, as cool as the concept was, by that point Toriyama had made a goddamn universe where that story doesn't fucking work. And here, he kind of fucking mitigates that problem by being like, oh, this fucker killed all the Kaios. They're all dead.
Yeah.
This is a world without God.
Which...
What?
How did that work again?
Which part?
Like, I'm trying to remember why Beers in that timeline didn't solve that problem.
Oh, in the future timeline, Kaioshin died. He died during the Majin Buu incident. And when Kaioshin dies, the God of Destruction dies.
Right. Why didn't Beers destroy Majin Buu?
He was asleep.
Right. Okay.
In fact, I think they even bring up...
I remember that now.
Like, fun fact, I'm pretty sure it was just the manga. I don't think the anime brought this up. I hate invoking the manga because I feel that it's a separate product because it does so many different things. But like the manga actually brings up this really neat point of just like Kaioshin stating like, oh yeah, like normally this is like the God of Destruction's job to deal with this kind of shit, but he's fucking lazy, So like I'm stuck doing it, But so
did he also kill the fucking, I don't know, like, Tiny Blue Chibi Ultimate God Chan?
Well, no, like he, because at the end, he come like Goku.
Oh yeah, he's in that timeline.
Yeah, it's just he was completely oblivious.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So he killed every other Kaio in existence, and he just didn't care.
Yeah, okay, that's one of the things I have an issue with, because at first I thought this was...
It's a very Taoist view of the deity.
Like, okay, so, like, one of the things that bugged me was, like, at first it seemed like, okay, like, he was only responsible for killing the Kaios and the Kaioshin. Well, he didn't kill the Kaioshin, but he killed the Kaios in Universe 7, it sounded like, in that timeline. But now, the way it sounds is that he went through all 12 universes by the end of it, because they keep... It's kind of hard to tell exactly what he was doing. Like, how long he's been doing this, how far along he was. Because at some point, like early on, you get the feeling of, okay, he's been on Earth for like a year, he's probably ransacked a couple of planets, and now he's on this one. But, like, later on, they're stating, like, oh, like, the Zero Immortals plan will be complete today. And, like, as if he's, like, they pretty much make it sound like, oh, yeah, he's wiped out every other fucking life form except for the ones on this planet.
In the universe, except for a ragtag group of dudes with shotguns holding out against...
Well, I mean, enough human will and enough shotguns, Aggro, and you can overcome anything.
I seem to remember fucking Majin Buu standing on Kami's lookout and in like 20 seconds killing every human on the planet.
Okay, like, Yeah, Zamasu clearly didn't have the human extinction technique. Alright? Well, yeah, that was... That is true. That is something that happened. Like, I mean, I'm totally down for, like, Zamasu being, like, just this total fucking, like, sociopath who likes getting that hands-on feel of just wiping out humanity. I'm totally down with that. But the fact that, like, he's having so much trouble getting with this one last little ragtag group, the fact that he's been on this planet for a year, I'm like, it stretches that suspension of disbelief. But honestly, that's like little nitpicky things. This arc has
this arc has bigger problems.
Way more fucking structural issues than this. Like,
but it's dopey. It's plotting.
Because thing is though, this arc could have been so much worse conceptually. That's the thing that pisses me off. Is like when I heard about the Future Trunks arc, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Xenoverse 2 just got announced. They're bringing back Future Trunks. This is gonna be the Xenoverse arc. They're gonna fucking they're gonna have the Time Breakers. It's gonna have Mira and Toa. They're gonna fight Demigra at the end. The arc is probably gonna end with the Kaioshin of Time showing up and making Trunks a Time Patroller. Like fucking Goku Black is probably gonna just be Time Breaker Bardock. It's gonna be all this horrible shit. Like you know, it could have been that level of terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up! And now Winston has joined us. What did you think of the Future Trunks arc? I think it was shit. Oh, well, you're a dog, so no one can argue with you. You're a very smart animal. You're man's best friend, and man's best friend would never lie to man. So yeah, like, it could have been way fucking worse. It could have just been the worst, like, fanficky, video gamey garbage ever. Just this whole fucking lead-in for, like, this video game and a big friggin' advertisement for it. So yeah, like, it could have been so much worse than it actually ended up being.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, then when they start telling you, like, what the concept is, like, oh yeah, like, this fucking fucked up Kaioshin, like, you know, stole Goku's body, went to the future, they introduced the time rings, and just this crazy fucking concept. I'm like, that's really fucking creative, and kind of not some shit that I would expect Toriyama to be able to write. And then I find out he can't write it, because every time, like, something important happens that'll really make the arc stick and, like, really, like, stick those landings where it fucking matters, it just completely fucking falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do that weird fucking, the fucking causal loop shit that I goddamn hate in everything that ever does it. So they do the causal loop. Fine. I can live with the causal loop. I can live with that. Fine. They're doing a causal loop. Yet somehow in this causal loop, like, Beers kills Zamasu, but, like, in the fucking timeline that Black comes from, Black's history is the exact same up until that point, but for some reason just Beers doesn't kill him, and he fucking kills Goasu. And, like, they hammer that point so hard that that's how that happens. They released a fucking timeline. Toei released an official timeline explaining, oh yeah, no, this is exactly where it happens. Fucking Zamasu explains it, then Bulma explains it, then they fucking, like, double down on it, and, like, Whis states, when you killed Zamasu, you created a split timeline, and then they show us the extra fucking time ring that was created from it. Like, they want you to be sure that you fucking understand this concept.
Why is that how time travel works?
Yeah, right? Like, just somehow killing a god just somehow breaks this causal loop, but doesn't break this... But, like, it was the dumbest fucking thing. I hated it. It made no fucking sense. And then you have fucking Goku, who shows up, and... Oh no, like whenever he shows up to like, you know, switch bodies with Goku, Goku doesn't fucking recognize him. He has no clue what the fuck's going on. It's like, you're a Goku from 1 year in the future after you've already dealt with this shit. How are you not aware of what has happened here? But yeah, like, that was all dumb. Fucking Zamasu near the end, like, fucking Trunks pulling out transformations and new attacks and abilities out of his ass. I don't think they understand, like the way you build tension is you set the ground rules, and then the characters have to, like, work within the ground rules that are established, not just you set the ground rules and then the characters keep breaking the ground rules whenever the story needs them to. Because, okay...
This isn't Doctor Who.
Yeah, like, I love the idea of just yeah, Trunks with like all of his hope and his like him like the power of humanity, like all 25 people left on planet Earth, and he just creates this big fucking spear sword, splits the guy dick the fucking head. That was awesome. And then they go like, I could have been like, fine, whatever. That's the stupid ass ending you wanted to go with. But then instead of going for the stupid ass ending, they go for the completely stupid ass ending that's completely unsatisfying on any goddamn level. Where it's just like, well, we're fucked. Hit the Zeno button. Zeno. It's like Zeno just fucking wipes out the entire universe. And it's just like, how is that a happy ending?
Goku, how long have you had that?
Yeah, and fucking, okay. Like the thing that's so goddamn bothersome about this, like, some people are actually defending this. It's like, oh, well, you just expect a happy ending every time? I'm watching Dragon Ball. Yes, I do. Like, that's what you, like, it is a happy-go-lucky, schlocky shonen. Like, you're not, like, it's not like I'm opposed to fucking downer endings. I love Evangelion. That's about as fucked up as endings get. I love Utena and fucking Madoka, where it's just like these really unsettling, bittersweet endings. Like, the shit that gives you stuff to think about. This doesn't give you anything to think about. You sit there and look at it and go, why? That's the only thing you think about is, well, why did this happen? Why did any of this...
Because it seems like they wrote this whole arc episode by episode.
The thing is, like, you can't even say that because they fucking... Episode 2, they established, oh yeah, if Zeno gets annoyed, he'll just wipe out, like, an entire universe. And then 4 episodes later, it's like, here's the Zeno button, call me if you need me. And it's just... Like they had already set this up. They had already set it up, they knew what they were doing, they planned it from the beginning, they knew how this was going to end, and now we have this weird-ass fucking ending where Trunks, like, he's completely failed. He has failed ridiculously so. And their big solution to this is, well, we'll just go back before Beers died, have him kill Zamasu, and now you'll just exist in this new fractured timeline, but except now there'll be 2 Trunkses and 2 Mai's.
I figured it was going to be like Future Trunks and Future Mai get to live in our timeline now. Won't that be interesting?
Yeah, which, I mean, probably would have been kind of a more satisfying ending, because like, you know, then you had that whole thing of like the fucking ending scene with Gohan, where Gohan's just like, you know, like waving goodbye.
Well, like, I've decided to be in this arc now.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah, and okay, so many things bother me about that. One, like, he's clearly in his ultimate form. Like, you look at his eyes, you look at his hair. That's Ultimate Gohan. That's Ultimate Gohan. So, like, people are like, oh man, Gohan's training again, is he? That's it, because the Gohan fans are just like, give me anything. I need something, please. For fuck's sake, give me something. But, like, they're like, oh man, he was training. That's why he was late. It's like, you know, does anyone even bother by the fact that Gohan showed up the last fucking second instead of having, like, a real, genuine, emotional final moment with this goddamn character that he actually has a personal connection to? Especially that Trunks has a personal connection to? Was Trunks just going to fucking leave without even saying goodbye to Gohan? And then you think about the fucking episode he had with Gohan where, you know, Trunks is just like, yeah, Gohan's living this happy, peaceful life. That's what I want for myself. Guess you can't have that, fucko, can ya? Fuck you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I don't know what the hell you're supposed to learn from this arc or this ending. Like, it's like they didn't really have, like, a message that they wanted to send. You know, yeah, Eva has a really fucked up dark ending. It gives you shit to think about. You know, Utena, fucking Madoka, so many fucking animes that have, like, these dark, bittersweet endings, they give you shit to think about at the end. This is just, like, all you're thinking about is, well, what am I supposed to get out of this? None of this thematically fits.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part is, like, that ending completely contradicts the whole fucking message from the beginning of the arc, which is, hey, fucking with time travel and creating split timelines fucks things up, and you shouldn't do it. And what the fuck does this arc end with? Them going to Trunks' timeline and creating a new fractured timeline for him to live in, which completely contradicts and spits in the face of the fucking message that they were hammering in at the beginning of this arc. It's a fucking Cell arc all over again, where the whole fucking foundation of that arc was a world where Goku is a world that is completely fucked. And what happens? Goku goes, I'm just gonna give you guys a world without me, because a world with me is totally fucked. It's like, I'm not going to take responsibility for any of my actions.
This is exactly the kind of shit the Spiral King tried to warn us about.
And yet another ending that was bittersweet and, felt thematically appropriate and satisfying.
The whole Trunks arc, all of Super that I hear about it, its defining feature is how unnecessary it all is.
Well, yeah, because, it's slapped in between the 10 years of peace.
It just doesn't do anything. Like, there's no point for it to exist.
Well, yeah, there was money.
Love or Hate GT, it did weird new things.
Yeah, it moved us. Well, the thing is, though, okay, the thing that always bothers me when people are talking about, the stuff that, Super, all the great ideas Super brings to the table. I have to admit, this arc was really creative. It was a really creative arc conceptually that they fucked up all the sticking points on. But, when people keep talking about, look at what it's done for the Dragon Ball universe. It's given us more gods. We already had this big fucking hierarchy. Adding in more
useless
gods,
assholes.
Adding in more people to this hierarchy doesn't, to me, make the lore more interesting. GT goes back to the previously established lore and unfolds that stuff, like the Dragon Balls and the Saphirians and the fucking the whole concept of not abusing the Dragon Balls and the whole what happens if you combine Zaru with Super Saiyan, it's just they went back to the well and just started fleshing out and unfolding new ideas from the old ideas. This is just, here's a bunch of new gods and here's a bunch of random shit that we're doing with them. Mm-hmm. And, because, the Battle of Gods arc, it's just, what kind of storyline is that? Some asshole shows up and fights Goku. Alright. The Golden Frieza arc, the Resurrection F arc, it's, some asshole shows up and fights Goku. The fucking tournament arc, it's a tournament with zero fucking stakes. Yes, it is a tournament where two gods of destruction are holding this tournament, but there's no stakes to it. They're just doing it for shits and giggles. There's nothing to take away from that. This is the first arc with stakes, the first arc that actually felt like it meant anything, but then by the end of it, it just felt hollow and empty. It just fucking fell apart. God damn. And the structure of this arc, because people keep saying, well, it was a really good arc up until the end. No, it isn't. The first two episodes, I think, are a rock-solid foundation for a good story. It has all the things that you need. You thought it, I do agree, it could have been one episode, but it being two episodes, I didn't think was detrimental. I thought it was fine. But then after that, the arc just drags ass. I think people seem to forget that the early episodes of this arc is just one drag-ass episode after the other.
The whole thing was plotting, and it would just go up, when the arc was moving, it was good.
Well, the thing is, though, when it's moving at a fucking breakneck pace. It's either snail's pace in this arc, or fucking just...
it would just go up and down and up and down. And, when all the parts were working together, when the whole thing clicked, it was pretty good. It was high concept. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And then, every now and then, it would just careen into full shit fanfiction mode.
Yeah, so, there are episodes I definitely love, like the Gohan Trunks episode. I thought that was a good little slice of life episode. But then you have all these other episodes of, Vegeta just training Trunks for a single day. And somehow, I guess that makes Trunks more powerful. I don't know. You have, they want to get all these little, hey, you have Trunks in this timeline. What are you going to do with them? I feel like more time was spent on the, Chibi Mai Future Trunks ship stuff, than there was with anything else in those early episodes. And it's just bland and boring and drags on. There's a couple of high points in those episodes, but Jesus Christ, it's 8 episodes, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, go to the future already. They go to the future, and to my surprise, they get their ass kicked super fast and come back, and it's just damn, well, that didn't go well.
They pulled back out god damn it. Okay, nobody gets to laugh at Trunks anymore.
Yeah, that was real shit. Fuck. But then the arc gets weird and repetitive, where they go to the future again, completely unprepared, get their ass kicked, run back again.
They go right back. There's no training montage. There's no new plan. They just go back.
Yeah, well, this time they had the Senzu, so it was okay. But yeah, it's just...
oh my god. And then they bring the Mafuba.
Yes, which amounts to goddamn nothing. Goku spends an entire episode...
That whole thing was pointless.
learning the Mafuba...
It was a punch in the dick, too.
Yeah, and like fucking like then they have Trunks learn it, and then what happens? Fucking Goku forgot the seal. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, first off, I couldn't even tell why the hell it was sketched onto an urn, like a fucking clay pot. It's like, and then I found out because like I thought the seal was on the jar, which is why they needed that jar specifically. I don't know how you didn't pick something more durable, but they picked the jar. So I was like, okay, well the seal is on the jar, so they need to fix the jar itself. Then you find out, oh no, the seal is something separate. It was a separate piece of paper. I'm like, well, in that case, why the hell were you even trying to fix the jar? Go find a fucking rice cooker and put his ass in that. Yeah, because we've already established the Mothball can seal anyone and anything, any kind of container, as long as it has the seal. So, like, that was dumb. That was a waste of time. And that's, yeah, it's all these callbacks for no fucking reason, other than, let's make a callback to this thing that you recognize, which is really what a lot of Super has been. It's like, hey, you like this thing? Here it is again, but different. Like, here it is. We're bringing this thing back. We're like the Kaioken is back. The Mafuba is back.
I mean, I love stuff that does that. Honestly, I love being pandered to.
I mean, I like it too. But
Dragon Ball Super's not good.
Yeah, it's not doing it well. It's not doing it justice. Like, I mean, if this fucking arc had ended with fucking giant Hexus Zamasu in the sky and Goku and Trunks like double team Mafuba and just sealed his ass up, and that's how this whole thing fucking got resolved, I would have been totally alright with that. That would have been like, yeah, because like there was payoff for the Mafuba, there was payoff for Trunks trying to learn it.
Goku and Vegeta, and they Batar fuse, and then fucking adult Gohan shows up in the second time machine, and he and Trunks fusion dance, and then those two fusions fuse, and they're like, suck humanity, motherfucker, and they punch the sky.
Yeah, fucking, oh god, I forgot about Vegito, because he was only in there for 5 minutes.
He showed up like, here's Vegito, did you like him?
Yeah, like, it was just such a waste of his character. Once again, it's just tossing things out there that they know people will recognize and think is cool. And I keep being told, well, clearly this show isn't being made for you. I have been a fan of this franchise for 20 fucking years, Aggro.
Who the fuck are they making this show for?
Right? It's
idiots?
It's made for like the kids and stuff. It's like kids don't know what the fuck the Mafuba is. You're making this like you're gonna throw out all these little references to the old school fans, the people who've clearly been fans of this franchise for a long time. It's like, you know, like give them a little bit of a wank, but then you walk off before you actually get the climax. It's pandering in all the worst ways. It doesn't know how to even do fan service right, except for that Gohan episode. I'll defend that Gohan. Like that was sweet. It was cute seeing Trunks just being like that's the kind of life I want. Like Gohan's living the dream. You know, like, and that was just a great, like, you know, Trunks talking to the audience going, guys, Gohan's alright. Like, you know, he's happy now. Stop trying to make Gohan a fighter. And then he shows up at the end of this arc looking like a fighter, and I'm like, Future Trunks arc? What are you doing? No mixed messages. Stop it. Stop it, goddammit. Yeah, it's just so much bad shit in this arc. And it's just, like, it sucks too because it's surrounded by brilliant concepts. Like, as you said, like, you know, it was, like, at points it's smart and high concept and interesting. And they got this great mystery going on. And, you want to say something? Huh? No? You just want to get away from this horrible conversation about this pretty terrible anime? Is that what I'm hearing, Pups?
I believe it.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, it's just... Like, are there any things that, like, that you particularly hated or loved? Or was it just, like, this constant, like...
Zamasu is an idiot. Either that or the universe doesn't make sense. Because he keeps going, oh, mortals are evil. They keep translating it as human.
Yeah.
He keeps saying ningen, but he's, like, apparently referring to all mortals in the universe.
Yeah, because, like, they don't have... Like, I guess, like, they just don't have, like, a good term for that. Because, I mean, saying mortals... Like, because they have like, the whole immortality, because gods aren't immortal.
They aren't. I'm like, what is the difference? Like, is there a planet where the Kais come from? Because I can't figure out how they're different from anybody else.
Zeno assigns them, I guess.
Like they've got apprentices, and I guess they have job application processes.
Oh, God, and let me fucking... Okay, I like how fucking Zamasu shows up. It's like, oh, yeah, he's an apprentice Kaioshin. Okay. He was a former Kaio. why doesn't he look like a little obese bug man instead of like a fucking like handsome chiseled Kaioshin? Like,
just because he's all like, oh man, humans, they do war and violence and shit. I'll solve the problem by doing all this war and violence and shit that a god would never do.
I mean, I understand like his concept of, you know, humanity's just gonna like, you know, like
yeah, he's full anti-spiral. I get it. He's a dick, an idiot, and a hypocrite.
Yeah, he is, but like, you know,
I do love the whole like privileged, my justice is absolute truth psychopath villain.
Yeah.
I always love it. I just fucking Zamasu.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like Zamasu. I think at least, you know, he's a villain with motivation. And, like, just like his weird-ass shit, like, it's like, oh, well, you're a hypocrite. You have Goku part of you. It's like, yeah, because I'm taking in the sins of humanity.
See, I kind of did like that, because, like, you had Immortal Zamasu, who was full Zamasu, and Goku Zamasu was just infected by Goku. He was obsessed with his own power. He loved the thrill of that battle. And I love that tainted Zamasu in black, and what's-her-face doing Goku's voice super evil like that. It was just... That was really nice.
Yeah. Fucking Nozawa, just like her black was just fucking awesome. I loved that whole thing. Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of like I said, like, you know, there's a lot of great shit in this arc, but just where it really matters, and when you just look at the whole thing as a whole, not just the ending, people, but when you look at this whole thing as a whole, it's a clusterfuck. It's a bunch of half-baked ideas and just fantastic concepts, but just everything that would make it a satisfying story, or even a story that fucking makes sense, it just falls apart and just completely drops the ball.
Yeah, it's just the story doesn't flow, the arc doesn't have good structure, it's full of unnecessary bullshit. Like, if you can't write normal arcs, well, don't try a time travel arc, because you're not going to do that.
Yeah. Thing is, though, like, this whole time travel thing it could have made perfect sense. All they had to do was say, Zamasu learned of Goku through some other means. The manga does this. He learns about Goku through Kaioshin. Kaioshin speaks to him, because you know, he's just going from, you know, because, you know, all the Kaioshin apparently hang out and talk and shit. And he's just like, oh yeah, no, like, you know, like we have like a guy named Goku. He's like super powerful and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, like he's surpassed almost all of the gods, and it's like, and like that triggers Zamasu, and then he learns about it. Like then he sees like the GodTube video of like the tournament and sees like how powerful he is, how he has God power and all this stuff, and that triggers him. So now, you know, like, oh, okay, so like now, like, you know, he does like he becomes black, goes to that timeline, goes. Like, you know, then, you know, Trunks comes back, so now he's created a fractured timeline. So when they kill Zamasu there, that makes sense. Not, you know, you don't have this weird causal loop that doesn't fucking work. And it's just so goddamn infuriating. Especially considering, like, causal loops shouldn't even work with Trunks' kind of time travel. This arc, dude. This arc is such a mess. And, like, it has some of the best looking fight scenes.
It really does.
Then you had that, oh god, I just remembered, like, when we were talking about terrible direction, that one episode with, like, that was completely on model with no animation budget, where just weird shit just kept happening. Where, like, now he has, like, a sickle that made of energy. Oh, now you created this rift. Now this rift has created, like, black clones. Now fucking Trunks has learned the Mafuba. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Stop! Slow down! We're shoving too much shit into this episode. Like, if this were an episode of fucking... If this was like Dragon Ball Kai, it'd be like 3 episodes. If this were Dragon Ball Z, it'd be like fucking 6 episodes. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, just so much bad pacing. God, just, like, it's either, like, just
fucking Goku and Vegeta, and they're like, it's time to fight all these weird shadow clones one at a time, and not, I don't know, move in opposite directions to escape the lateral ring they've formed around us.
Right. And then it's just like, man, you guys probably just should have stayed unfused, because all those black clones that were coming out seem to be kicking their ass just fine. And I don't even know why the hell, like, whenever Black flies away, the clones disappear. It's
you
like,
get too far from the rift, I guess.
Right? Which we don't even know how the hell the rift happens. It's like,
Neither did he.
yeah, he's just like, maybe it's like another timeline or another universe, or maybe it's just a manifestation of my hatred. I don't fucking know. I didn't get the manual on this shit. Oh, God. Like, the time rings were cool. I thought I was really gonna hate the time ring, because I'm like, oh really? Like this guy who just happens to be in Trunks' timeline has a fucking ring that like manipulates time too. That's really, and I'm like, oh damn it, that actually makes sense contextually within the story when they actually explain how you got to that point. Because the idea of like, like if he goes to like fucking Trunks' timeline because there isn't a god of destruction. That makes sense. Like, oh, the god of destruction's already dead here. Let's start fucking things up here. But then you fucking get to just like that whole concept. Like even him just killing all the gods, I'm fine with. Like all the gods of Universe 7, because I could see the Zeno. Stop it. Like you're stuck in this conversation. You joined it. You're stuck here. You have to listen to us talk about this shitty cartoon. Zeno, I could totally picture. Not giving a shit about a bunch of Kaios getting wiped out. Him not noticing that his entire fucking pantheon has been goddamn obliterated. It's really? Yeah, it's so much stupid shit. A lot of stupid shit doesn't make sense.
Oh my god.
Fucking the power scaling makes no goddamn sense. Which, okay. No, fuck that. Power scaling does matter a little bit.
Yeah, no, it does.
Because it's a universal consistency thing. If you don't know who's stronger than who, then you don't have a good grasp of what the stakes are. So when you can just jump around and change, like, oh, now Trunks is the strongest, now fucking this guy's the strongest, now Black is the strongest, now, oh, like, now Merge Zamasu is like, oh shit, he's fucking OP. Oh, then Goku somehow Kamehamehas straight through his big fucking block. Doesn't even use the Kaioken with that. He just fucking powers straight through it.
No, like right before all that shit started happening, there was that beautiful scene where Vegeta fights Black and just kicks the shit out of him.
Right? But then they fucking ruin it by being like, oh, like it's like you got this power boost not from your 6 months of training you spent in the Room of Spirit and Time, but because you're angry about your son and what I've done to his universe. It's like, one, that's not how rage boosts work. Two, Vegeta should... I'm getting tired of everyone getting fucking rage boosts. Because that used to be a Gohan thing, damn it. That was Gohan's thing, and Gohan's thing
getting
only.
A power-up for being super angry is something that people have been doing in stories for centuries.
Well, yeah.
Gohan always had, like, this fucking amazing trigger off of it.
Yeah, like, thing is, though, but I'm talking about, like, this incredible, like, raise in power. Because, like, that was always specifically a Gohan thing in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's always kind of had that thing of, like, Vegeta would get angry, Vegeta would get his ass kicked. Vegeta would be like, oh, down like a bitch. It's what always happened to him. And Gohan, though, was the one that always got the boost. Goku had been angry a couple of times. He raged out against, Daimao and Tambourine, gets his fucking ass kicked. Until he just got his fucking magical power up. Then he kicked Daimao's ass. But he goes up against, Frieza, like he gets Super Saiyan. Like, that's a completely different thing. Like, people keep saying, like, Super Saiyan was a fucking rage boost. It's like, no, it was a rage-triggered transformation. That's something completely different. Like, Vegeta being like, my Bulma! And then beating the shit out of the God of Destruction for 5 seconds is kind of horseshit. But yeah, and then, like, Goku does it. Like, he's just like, oh, you killed my wife and child in a fucking alternate timeline, even though I'm a horrible husband and father who barely fucking acknowledges their existence. And apparently has never kissed my wife. You poor sexually deprived hot Asian woman, you.
She knew what she was signing up for.
Did she?
Yes.
God damn it. That poor woman. I still feel bad for her. At least the bridge Chi-Chi is getting hers. So yeah, that's this arc. Do you have any closing statements? Do you plan on watching more? Or are you just gonna, like, jump off like the first white bitch on the Titanic?
Dragon Ball Super is sad.
It is.
That's really what it all evens out to in the wash.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, it's just the overall product is that. It's just...
And then, like, the conversation I hear about on the internet is the wrong conversation. Because Dragon Ball Super is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad show.
It is.
It's poorly written, it's poorly made, and the only reason anybody's sticking to it is because of the decades of context all of these characters have.
Yeah.
So when the conversation is like, oh, is like this arc or this episode better? Oh, how about this? They're like, no, it doesn't, like, it's often bad in interesting ways, but it's a bad show.
Yeah. Like, it's like, because people have this conception of me that I'm just furious at Dragon Ball Super, and it's like, I'm just constantly disappointed. Like, it's just like, oh man, here's like this new installment.
It shouldn't be hard to make good Dragon Ball. Like, after all of Z, if you can't write Dragon Ball, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated formula.
Yeah, I mean, you've had 3 arcs that just felt like fluff. Like how the Golden Frieza arc is entirely goddamn fluff.
I love it.
You didn't see the arc.
No, I watched the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, stick with that.
It was lean and beautiful.
I do recommend watching like the 2-hour fan cut that splices in some super stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd heard about that.
Like that's awesome. It fills out the story a bit better, and removes some of the terrible CGI. But yeah, like that was actually a pretty enjoyable watch. But yeah, just Dragon Ball Super though, it's so slapshot. It's horribly mismanaged and mishandled, and I just what?
Slipshod. Slapshot is a thing you do in hockey.
Oh, wait, was it
Slipshod.
Slipshod.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned something new. Man, I have been saying that word for years. Learned something new today. So yeah, Dragon Ball Super, it's a bad show. We really need to that's it. Like, because, like, no matter what, like, people say, like, is the next arc gonna fucking... No! We are 60-some-odd episodes into this show.
It's not just wait, it's not give it a few more episodes, give it a real chance. It's a bad show, guys.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Like, if you like it, cool.
Yeah.
I really love Chivalry the Failed Knight. It's not a good anime.
Right?
It ain't bad.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed, like, the last 2 Ninja Turtle movies. Those are sure as shit not good movies.
And that just objectively makes Zeon a bad person.
Right? That might be a hate crime in some places. But yeah, like, fuck it. Like, you know, like, I just wish more people could just, like, identify that they are watching bad content, that they are watching stuff that is structurally unsound, that just, you know, that has inconsistent characters, inconsistent animation, like, poor plotting, fucking plot holes and ass holes and all these things that make for bad contrived stories, and go, yeah, I mean, it's a terrible clusterfuck. I'm having a fun time, so whatever. And that's all you need to do. But no, everyone has to treat like the things that they love have to inherently be good.
Their quality has to be a part of your own personal identity.
Because if you like something bad, then that means you're a stupid piece of shit person. And it's like, no. Like, just love watching bad entertainment.
Liking bad anime doesn't make you a shitty person. It makes you a shitlord. And there's a whole world of difference.
Done.